Okay, so welcome to the first episode of Existential Things, where we talk about everything existential. Where did we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? So we're literally on this hurtling rock in the abyss of ever-expanding space. Going where? And I've been fascinated by this idea and my position in the universe and my experience as a human in the universe for the past 7 years since my first significant existential crisis. So about 7 years ago, I had an existential crisis. Very fun, 10 out of 10, I recommend, where I began to literally question everything. And I mean everything. It was sparked by me questioning or beginning to become aware of my role in society and the rat race and how I was just feeding into this, that hamster wheel. I was just going to be a cog in the machine like most people, and it scared the fuck out of me. It was such a scary thought. The fact that I was going to go to school for 20 plus years, to then graduate, to then have a career for 40 plus years, and then enjoy my last 20 years in old age. Obviously, my body is already broken down. Giving my best years to some corporation or some experts I don't really give a fuck about. That just blew my mind, and I don't know. I do know. I couldn't hang with that. So I basically started questioning what else is there. If you're not rich and famous, how do you escape this rat race? That societal illusion, career path, and all that kind of stuff. It didn't seem to me that was the essence of living, of life. So I began to question. And in my questioning, or in tandem, my Christian faith began to dwindle as well. I was born and raised Christian, Pentecostal. My mother's really devout. But I just had so many questions. Seeing so much suffering and so much strife around me with God's tip at everybody, on everyone's tongue. Hey, yo! With God's name at the tip of everyone's tongue, And then to still see them suffer and all that kind of stuff. I was like, to what end? It felt like God wasn't listening, or God was dead, right? And I began to question. And I actually got to my knees one day when I was 18 or 19 and just asked God to know. I just wanted to know. Whatever that meant, I just wanted to know. And once I got to a response, it was a series of societal and religious, spiritual illusions shattering all around me. Everything I knew to be true, everything, bestowed upon me by authorities, be it my parents, school, the church, all that kind of stuff, evaporated. Step by step. It was like the domino effect. It just evaporated. Asked a question about the rat race, asked a question about spirituality and religion and society and, all that kind of stuff, and things just began to crumble. Shattering. Honestly, the first couple, let's say, months were a bit harrowing or daunting because everybody around you is just looking at you like you're weird. You're the one that's like finally awoken. You've finally taken the red pill. The Matrix. Blue pill, red pill. Blue pill, you stay safe. You keep on staying in society. Ignorance is bliss. Red pill, you're awake. Go see the Matrix if you haven't seen it. Why haven't you seen the Matrix? Just go see the Matrix. So I took the red pill.
He is the one.
Because I asked for it, essentially. I actually got to the point of believing that nothing mattered. I danced with atheism for a second, which was interesting because it was freeing. It was so freeing. If nothing mattered, then essentially anything could, right? If nothing truly mattered, then the consequences of my actions were more minute. They carried less of a weight on them, right? If I was just a speck of sand in the grand scheme of everything, then essentially this speck of sand could decide whatever the speck of sand, however the speck of sand interacted with its surroundings or within itself. That's just to say, I could essentially construct my own reality. I could believe what I wanted to believe, do what I wanted to do, be who I wanted to be, change when I wanted to change. Just because the consequences of my actions, in the grand scheme of things, meant nothing. Very, very, very freeing thought. And the more I got into that thought and got into that groove and continued that dance, right, something very interesting happened. In the nothingness, I found everything. The whole world opened up to me because I could believe anything. I could do anything. I could construct my reality, right? And there's some things I couldn't ignore, even in that nothingness. Oh, God doesn't exist, nothing matters, I'm just a speck of sand and life means nothing. I came from, I was gonna get a tattoo. So this reads creato Dio, which means created from the substance of God. We'll get to how I got there, but this tattoo was meant to read creato nihilo, which means created from nothing, right? And that's because I genuinely believed, and it was such a freeing thought at the time, that I was created from nothing, something from nothing, and essentially I could be anything because of that. A couple more explorations into this mindset, and in nothingness, I literally found everything. It was incredible. There are some things I couldn't ignore along the way, even in nothingness. Call it forces, call it instruments of God. If you like. Some people call it the law of attraction, power of the tongue. Christians will say. And other religions have different things for these weird forces, and I couldn't ignore them. And in my exploration and in my zest of that nothingness, I found everything, and that I think was single-handedly the best thing that could ever have happened to me. Obviously, there's a lot of details in between and a lot of levels you go through, and mental paradigms you have to kind of phase through, and doctrines you take on and they don't really fit right and you take them back off. Okay, I believe in this, I don't know, it doesn't really fit my experience, right? My human experience. Ask yourself, if you were not to take everything from authority when you were born, if you were to decide for yourself essentially what you believed and how you lived your life and how you saw the world and how you interacted with the world, devoid of anybody else's influence on you, which we all know about influence on our lives, parents, governments, institutions, crazy. Anyway, who would you be? Who would you be? This is life. Life is one, as far as you know. Yeah. Till next time, we'll talk about something really interesting. Or maybe you can suggest something to talk about. Let me know. Let's talk about it. I'm Demz, Restless Mind, aka Ademide, and this is Existential Things. Till next time.